What do you remember about the role SERV plays in Vera at Young Africa?
My memory is, at the time, I think I thought of it on quite a superficial level. At the time, it's very full on, and you're on site construction, all that kind of thing, all day long, and then by the end, you're so tired you don't really have time to reflect. So, I think the real realization for me of how crucial SERV's work is only came after I had returned home. And just as a comparison, at the time, I thought pretty much the work extended to volunteers' money, bought this, and it was good for the locals because, it got them a tractor for Dondo for their whatever agriculture buildings and stuff like that. But having come home and thought about it more, I realized that it's much deeper than that. It's about fostering relationships between the partners. My biggest memory would be that it's about how right situation, and when put in a place where you have the tools to succeed, then SERV enables people over there to do that and the locals to do that. And I mean, Young Africa is a massive part of that too. And SERV in Young Africa, if you could see the campus for anyone that would like to volunteer, I mean, you literally just go, wow, it's incredible the work that they do. And especially because we went out there in the aftermath of the cyclones, two literally back to back, it did some immense damage. And a lot of the work we did there was repairing that damage, putting a roof back on the orphanage, or cutting down a tree that was about to collapse into a classroom. But it's those superficial things that really contribute to a deeper sense of connection between the young people there and the young people, us Irish volunteers. And I think it means a lot to the Mozambicans on the campus to know that there are people who really do care about them so far away, and that their problems aren't just theirs, that we want to go there and share their load for them because we are so fortunate to be from Ireland, different backgrounds as they may be. I think even just part of the most memorable thing was speaking to the guys on the construction site about their families and where they've come from and their struggles, and just learning from them how to take things so seriously in perspective of our own lives. I think SERV really fosters and encourages the ethos of, when you're there, you make friends and you learn, and you can use those experiences in your own life. And every time I think I'm doing something terrible, or that my life is rubbish, like at the moment, I'm in the middle of studying for exams and I think, oh, this is dreadful, I mean, you have to take it in perspective, and young people here are just the same as there. So if they can overcome those challenges, then I can do what my tiny problems compared to that. But yeah, I think there's a lot of physical things that SERV does that are tangible. They built that massive water tank out in Dondo for fish farming. That was one thing I saw. Sadly, it was actually cracked in the cyclone, but it was repaired again, which was nice. But I mean, that allows so many young people to learn about how to make sustainable incomes on fishing, and how farming can be improved in order to make a better living and make their margins much better. So it's just seeing those physical things and then realizing what they actually mean for such a wider community. And as I said, it's very hard to know that when you're there because it's just so full on and you don't have quite the energy to appreciate it and to talk about it to your friends. But I think there's, in many ways, the work that SERV does there is immeasurable. I mean, you can't measure the impact of the campus of Young Africa and the volunteers going over to Young Africa and to Dondo. You don't know how much that means to, Manuel, Rosa, Joao, all these people that we met there. We don't know fully how much they've taken out of it. So I think it's nice to think that they go home and say, oh, I had a great chat with Cormac today, whatever, because I did. So I hope they did too. And I think in that respect, it's fantastic what Serve does. It's really, really crucial, just in terms of developing a young person, just in a social sense and in a sense of that they do, their problems aren't their own, I think is what it comes down to, and that they're loaded shouldered by other people. And yeah, I mean, as if there was some kind of metric to measure what Serve did, I think that would be pretty incredible, impactful.